Welcome everyone to another episode of Bread and Butter. I am one of your hosts, Christian Butler, and of course we have my sis, the other co-host,
Michaela.
Michaela. So welcome to Bread and Butter, where we talk about generational wealth building and over a home cooked meal. So stay tuned after this recording because we'll have what we're eating for dinner tonight. We're going to have some vegetable fritters. So y'all stay tuned after this video so you can see how to make the fritters. So today we have three wonderful guests on today. So our theme is What's Poppin'. So we have the beautiful Daphne Walker here from Russell, A Place of Promise. And we have Popcorn Bro here with his mother, Misty and Tyler. So thank you all so much for being on, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So, Michaela, I'll go ahead and let you start.
Yeah. I'll start with you, Daphne. We know each other a little bit, just with you being a play cousin. But for people who aren't familiar with you, can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do at Russell?
So I'm Daphne. I've been at RPOP for 6 months now, since August. And before then I was, in doing, some community work. I've done me and my friend Mahogany Mayfield, who you all have seen before on here. We had a girls program for middle school Black girls at the Urban League. I've also worked with Sean Aaron Lee with Grid Principles, doing the West End Boys School, teaching graphic design there. And then also, like Michaela mentioned, I've been a play cousin since Play Cousins was in an apartment. And so, yes. And so I've been doing some community work, and I've had our pop came about. I was like, ever since they came, I was like, well, are they going to need a graphic designer? Are they going to need this? Are they going to need that? And finally my chance came. So I'm now a communications outreach specialist at Russell, A Place of Promise, doing social media, graphics, any type of outreach that isn't face-to-face, as well as the face-to-face, the door knocking, the going in the neighborhoods and all of that. But I'm mainly, here as social media and digital print materials. So, yes.
And killing the game, might I add.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody there's a boss. Everybody here is a boss. So you gotta fit
in. Dope. Can you tell us a little about What's Poppin'?
So What's Poppin' is our monthly newsletter. It started back in November 2020. So it's relatively new compared to all of our other virtual things. But we send out a monthly newsletter, email, and text message. And maybe we can plug the link to sign up to receive those. Yeah, so in the What's Poppin' newsletter, we have our upcoming events. So like Christian does Bread and Butter each month. Miss Jackie does her virtual conversations, political conversations each month. We also put in like highlights, Russell resident highlights, staff highlights, place highlights. So we just did a highlight on Molo Village in our last What's Poppin'. So it's just a monthly newsletter that goes out there. It's a video also. I record a video for YouTube, and it's included in the newsletter as well. But we post it on social media, and I don't know what else.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
a newsletter, but like I didn't know all that went in there.
It's a lot in there. We also I also put in like links to the past month's video. So if you missed the January political conversation, it'll be in the February What's Poppin' still. So you can still catch that. Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with the name What's Poppin'?
Our pop, come on. No, it's just we have a very bubbly I think the culture at our pop is very bubbly. I'm sorry, my dog is in the background crying.
Hey,
she gets on my nerves. We have a very bubbly, group of people, and we started using kind of this bubble theme in our design and all of that. And we call ourselves R Pop, short for Russell, a Place of Promise. So it just seemed like it made sense for it to be like, what's popping? Like, what's up? What's going on? And that's what Black people say to each other when they want to know what's happening. So that's what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so we're bringing that energy, that bubbly energy and personality. We're bringing that today, and we also got some sweet side to the popping today. We got Popcorn Bro on here, who has some of the best caramel popcorn in this city. When I tell y'all, I was eating that stuff at like 3 a.m., waking up out of my sleep, wanting a midnight snack. It is that delicious. So we are blessed to have Tyler and his mother Misty on here to talk to us a little bit about Popcorn Bro. So my first question is, how did Popcorn Bro get started? Like, what was the spark of the business?
I started at 8 years old and I really wanted a toy, so I asked for a business.
Okay. You wanted a toy and got a business?
Can I explain? I'm going to explain.
I was gonna say, what's the story behind that?
Well, listen, it was a long day of work, okay? I was working at Ford. I had just got off from work. And I was tired, probably I was really cranky. And I was in the kitchen cooking. And it was a commercial on, I forgot what kind of toy it was. And again, he was 8 years old. And I was like, boy, I said, call your grandparents and see, if you could clean or do some work around somebody's house to earn some money. And like the look that he gave me, because I'm really shocked that I even said that, because like I always wanted him to have his own business. And so like, throughout his years of growing years, I'm like, just talk about entrepreneur. And like at that moment of time, I told him to go work for someone else to earn some money. So like he looked at me and he was like, I don't want to do that. He said, I want to own my own business. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, what kind of business do you want to own? And right then and there, he said popcorn. And I was like, well, that's fitting because, you have to love what you do. And like, we are like popcorn, fanatics. So, we've never made our popcorn before then. We just got it, out of the box and put it in the microwave. So, so when he said that, like we studied, we was in the kitchen, we, came up with our own recipes and went downtown and registered the business. So it was more so he wanted a toy. That's where it came from. And so that's the story behind that. And that's, I like to tell people also that he ended up, so we launched Derby that year. Was it 2000?
$1-2 million.
He said we got $2 million. It wasn't $2 million. I wish it was $2 million. But
that's right. You better speak that.
Well, you know what? You're right. It was $2 million. But that year, Derby was coming around. So my mom's husband's in a motorcycle group. So he was like, come on over to the motorcycle club and sell the popcorn. And it was just like we sold out. And I was like, I was amazed. And we ended up going to Legoland. He ended up not even getting a toy. He paid for the whole family to go to Legoland.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Come through. Yes, that is awesome. So it all started out with just wanting a toy. And then that drive, like, okay, I'm going to work for it, but I don't want to work for nobody else. I want to own my own business. That is
amazing. What was the toy? I'm curious.
Right.
Do you remember the toy? He says, "Can y'all hear him? Speak up."
It was Legos.
Oh, and you went to Legoland.
He went to Legoland.
Shoot, he was thinking big. Okay, I'm blown away because I didn't know that. That is awesome. Okay. So, Tyler, this question is for you specifically. So, can you tell us, what do you like most about being a business owner, and what do you like least? And this is a free space for you to speak however you want. So, just let us know what you like most and what you like least.
I don't really hate anything about it, but earning my own money and being independent.
Okay. Cool. So what would you tell someone else your age who wanted to start a business? Would you encourage them to do the same? or would you have, some reservations about having them to start their own business?
I'll tell them to start at a young age.
Okay, cool. So then, Mom,
Mhm.
how, because of his answers to these questions, I know that you're instilling certain values in him. So, how has supporting him in his business changed your life?
Um, to be more like him. We all, if you have children, you want what's best for your kids. Growing up, your parents said this, do that. But I think it's very important to actually practice and do exactly what you're telling them to do. Um, and it was just this year, today's years old, when I just recently quit my job to do something that I much rather wake up every morning to do. Um, so that's what it taught me to do what he's doing. He has to be more of an example to him.
Okay. Okay. And then that's what generational wealth building is all about.
Hmm.
Like, we all have our examples of of what we need to be, of what we can become, of what is possible. For me, when I was younger, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to own a business because growing up, that's what I seen my dad doing.
Hmm.
And then I seen my mom. She didn't own her own business, but she was a workaholic, so she would have like two or three different jobs at one time. Um, but as far as like being an entrepreneur, like, I see my dad, like, I love the freedom of him being able to, like, just, you know, he could design his schedule to come to one of my like performances at school if he needed to, or he could say, oh, well, we just gonna go on vacation. So I always like was wanted to be after that.
Hmm.
With that being said, that's what generational wealth building is all about. So can you tell us a little bit about Sparrow House and how that example led for you to start this initiative that you have with the Sparrow House?
Yes, the Sparrow House is. I'm still in the planning stages of building my organization, but it's a nonprofit that is in the California community. The house that will house it is the house that I grew up in. My great grandmother Evelyn Sparrow bought the house in 1940. Um, I just recently lost my grandmother Anna J. Smith, which that's who inspired me to do this at the end of 2000 November 2019. So it's still really fresh. Um, Anna J. Smith was the founder of California. She's one of the founders of California Day. Um, she was the president of the California Coalition. Just very active in her community, speaking out for the residents in the community. So, when she passed and left uh, our family home to me, I felt that it's only right to continue her legacy. And he's over here patting me on my back. uh, to continue her legacy and to give back to the California community. So the Sparrow House will be a collaborative space. We've been through a lot as people, and I think a lot of our ideas and spark really just sparked here recently with, Breonna Taylor and everything hitting home. So, just a space, providing a space where we could come and be creative, unity. And thank you all for the work that you all do in the Russell neighborhood. And I'm hoping that I could be the start where that love is put back into that community. Because I was raised in the community, and it was unity. It was unity. A lot has changed. It's a very old community, so a lot of people has transitioned, just like my grandmother. So now it's like you ride through and it's just like, oh, it's so much love. So I'm wanting to put that back in the community, and provide space where people could come and be creative, get your projects done, or homework done, change your scenery, and come and bring a book or something like that. So
Okay.
and I'm also working on a urban farm also. Um, so just So just to bring back that unity in the California community.
That's awesome. And I love the urban farm aspect because self-sustainability is important.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing else, this pandemic has shown us that, like, you go to the store and people have bought up everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I don't know what it is, maybe it's greed, maybe people are scared that they're gonna run out and so they get it all. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, it's always nice to know that how to work the land so you
Mm-hmm.
can know how to feed your family if
Mm-hmm.
a crisis was to ever happen. So thank you so much for bringing that aspect back into the community as well.
Thank you.
And so now we'll just open it up to some open conversation. Michaela, Daphne, Misty, Tyler, if
Mm-hmm.
you all have any questions for anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
feel free to answer or feel free to ask those questions in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Daphne, how did you get started in graphic design? Because just because of the work that you do, and I know because like I enjoy it too. Like I can tell that you really enjoy being creative. So how did you get started with it?
Well, that's a long story, but I'll make it short. I
Mm-hmm.
always been into like art as a kid, like to draw, like to paint and stuff like that. And then I get to middle school and we took like this little test to see like what we wanted to be when we grew up, like based off of what we liked and all of that. And graphic design came up, but also teaching came up. My mom, she's a retired teacher, and my dad, he's passed, but he was a graphic designer. And so it was in between. And I started off, I went to college. I went to JCTC starting off and doing my elementary education. Totally unfocused freshman year. I had a lot going on the side. And then, little Keith was coming along, my son. So I was like, I took a break, because I was going to have him right around midterms and finals and all that. And so I was like, I got to figure out what I want to do. And I was like, art is fun, but how you can do art and make, a living off of it? Because they always make this sad joke about starving artists. And so I was like, okay, let me just get on Google and look up graphic design school. And JCTC popped up, which I was already enrolled there. So I was like, let me see what they got going on. And the first day I was like, this is where I should have been at the whole time. And so ended up graduating and won awards and all types of stuff. I got 2 golds, 2 silvers, and judge's choice at it used to be called the Louis Awards, and that's like this big design competition. It's in Louisville. Now it's called the, I can't think of the new name of it, but it's like the American Advertisement Federation or whatever. But I was like the only Black student can be in the student portion, and I took home a lot of awards. So it was a great experience for me. And then after that, I had to find my practicum, and I ended up falling into some more. I worked for Grids, which is with Jessica Bellamy with it's for profit, but she does design for nonprofit organizations. And so she did a lot of information graphics and stuff like that. And so that's where the graphic design intertwined with the social justice work. And ever since then, it's just been what I've been doing.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Did you have any questions, Michaela?
That actually sparked a question I had for Daphne. Again, you said you were with Play Cousins like right from the beginning. How did that get going?
So actually, I made the Play Cousins logo and the brand for Play Cousins. And Kristen, I don't remember exactly how I met Kristen. But I met Kristen. I don't know where we was at. And I don't know how that happened. Really, I was friends with one of her other friends. And she had told me about this new thing that was happening. And at first it was just like us getting together with our kids and them playing together and just kind of like talking about, child rearing and how I learned a lot about how, the traumas of slavery has passed down in the way that we discipline our children. And so it started off like that. I made the logo, and then, like I said, kind of went off and was doing other things, and then like I've been in and out, like came back and been in real involved, and then stepped back and came back and been real involved. So yeah, I've been around Play Cousins since Play Cousins was just Kristen. She showed us how to make chocolate chip cookies, but without eggs. You know, she's vegan, and she used applesauce, and they was so good. Those cookies were so good. You would have not even known. They were moist. They was perfect.
Yes.
Alice said, "What?"
Yes, no, she made sambusas too. Oh, so good. But
She don't
yes.
feed you. That's the one thing.
Yes.
And I forgot all about that you made the logo.
Yes. So yeah, I did a lot of things. Yeah, with like some of their brochures and like program stuff, and like just like the general branding, the whole like idea of the gears and all of that. Yeah, that was me. But yeah.
Cool.
So
Tyler's
she's
in
popping,
classes
y'all.
with.
I'm sorry, what you say?
Oh, Tyler, we're connected with Play Cousins as well. Tyler.
Oh yes, I love me some Play Cousins.
Me too. That's where I
Very
started
supportive.
my social justice. And it was the same Kristen. I met her randomly at freaking Books and Breakfast. And she was like, "Oh, you want help with the kids?" And I remember she just left me in the room. She was like, "Okay, you come up with the lesson plan real quick." And I was like, okay. But I had worked in daycare, so it kind of worked out. But it was like ever since that connection, I like got connected with everybody. So that one connection with her like opened up the door to this connections that I've made since 2017. So Play Cousins, I think, is infectious in that way. I love it.
Yeah.
So when can we expect the Sparrow House to be open, or what kind of support do you need for that? And also, when can we expect Popcorn Bro to be back on and popping popcorn?
As far as Popcorn Bro, we're in the middle of a move. So we're also just working on rebranding, because again, you know, I quit my job. So I'm trying to still know I have a baby too. So I'm trying to figure a lot of things out. Uh and we didn't, I don't know if you all saw, but Tyler actually had a interview with Master P last week.
I did.
So we I don't want to say too much about that, but we are connecting with him, and hopefully that could help us in a way to get our brand out a little bit more. 'Cause, you know, he love the kids, so I'm
He
like, okay,
does.
love this kid over here, and help us out a little bit with you know, just trying to push our product. So that's kind of a little bit on hold, just working on rebranding, trying to get moved and everything. But as far as the Sparrow House, um, it's been so much support. I'm working on the planning right now. I have really two big meetings coming up with two corporate businesses. Hopefully they could lend me a hand and give us some coins, because it's looking very expensive. You know, the house is historic in the California neighborhood. And you know, it's been in my family since 1940. So, you know, the house needs a lot of TLC. But I'm wanting, to be honest, I'm hoping next year, early next year, have the doors open. And one thing that I'm also will be doing is California Day from here on out. My grandmother did that every year. She's no longer here. They wanted someone to step up, and I was like, me, of course. So I will be providing, rather it being the typical California Day, the barbecue, and that I'm bringing resources to the park. So I have volunteers that are really helping out with that list and contacting like food trucks and organizations and businesses that can bring their resources to the neighborhood for the, you know, for the residents. And that will be August 20. I'm sorry. I think it's the last Saturday in August. It's California Day. So I will have a lot of that information soon. I had a Sparrow House page and had some difficulties changing the name because at first it was a different name before I came up with the Sparrow House, and I couldn't change it. So I started another page. So if you all could follow the Sparrow House, there's not much on there, but soon I will update everyone um, and everything. But it's the Sparrow House on Facebook.
Okay. And we'll make sure to add that link in there as well.
Okay.
And Daphne, you had a question?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to know, you said you wanted to go into business, Tyler, because you wanted this toy, but what made you choose popcorn? Was it always the plan, or was you like, what did you think about it, or what made you choose popcorn?
I mostly eat popcorn. I eat popcorn pretty much like every day.
So it's one of your favorite snacks, and that's why you was like, I want to make popcorn. That's cool. I was just wondering.
So why did you make caramel popcorn instead of like regular popcorn? Was it you want to do something different, or you like
Looks
caramel popcorn
different.
too? Something
I want
different?
to do something different.
Okay.
When we
Well,
started, we actually had different flavors. We're at home processing and you didn't have to say that on here. He is so crazy. Did y'all hear him?
we didn't hear him.
Okay, good. Good. But when we first started out, we had what we had, Tyler? We had cookies and creams.
Ooh.
Oh, salt and butter.
Ooh.
No, just cookies and cream and salt.
Salt. We had cheddar.
Oh yeah.
But the number one that most of our customers wanted was our caramel. And again, we're at home processor, and that's a very time consuming. So I just think we just narrowed it down because of that. But in the future, we do want to experiment with other flavors to have different options.
Mm-hmm. I got a secret recipe.
What's the secret recipe? Made with what?
Love.
Oh, I love that.
That's right. All righty. So thank you all so much. Michaela, do you have any more questions before we end it?
Well, Daphne and Misty, where can everyone find your stuff?
Well,
I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Misty, where can people learn more about Sparrow House? Daphne, where can we learn more about Russell, etc.?
And Popcorn Bro.
And Popcorn Bro.
Okay, well, Popcorn Bro, you can find him on Facebook, Popcorn Bro, and it's all one word. The Sparrow House on Facebook. I do have a website, but I put it out. Wasn't really intending for it to get as many shares as it did, but I'm also still working on the site. But it's the Sparrow House, CA as in California.com. But again, it's not all the way finished, and I'm working on it, but it's there.
Cool. Well, you guys can find all the Russell Place of Promise things on all of our social media platforms. Facebook at Russell A Place of Promise. Instagram is Russell Place of Promise, and our Twitter is Russell Promise. And then you can also look us up on YouTube, and you can catch all the videos. You can catch the bread and butters, the political conversations. You can see all the what's poppins, and yeah. Also, should be able to sign up for if you want to receive the emails or text messages for the newsletter.
All right. And then I just wanted to let everybody know that next month will be a very special month for Bread and Butter because we will be talking about social justice and this work. I know, Misty, we've seen you out here at Sage Bay with the sage, all the pictures in the movement. So that's March 13th, I believe, is the anniversary for the movement. Here with Breonna Taylor. So we're gonna have someone special on next month to talk about just how they're working throughout the movement. So you all stay tuned. Also, stay tuned for some other things that Russell Place of Promise has going on. So sign up for that newsletter so that you all can keep in touch. And then, Michaela, can you let us know a little bit about what Play Cousins has going on this month?
Yeah, excuse me. So, Play Cousins, we've launched two, I guess you could call them childcare programs. So we have our Play and Learn Lab. That's every Saturday, weather permitting, you know. That's 10 to 2, and we're limiting it to 10 kids during COVID. So you can register for that as soon as possible. But with the weather, I'm not sure we're holding it this week, but usually. And then our second childcare program is the Clubhouse, Play Cousins Clubhouse, where we provide temporary childcare and NTI support Monday through Thursday, 1 to 5. So sign up for those things. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
All righty. So thank you so much again to Misty and Tyler. And thank you so much for Daphne for being on as our special guest of Bread and Butter. You guys can always catch us right here again on this platform every last Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. We'll have somebody dope, and we'll have conversations around generational wealth building and how we can implement those in whatever form that might be. It might be by growing your own food. It might be by investing into something like the Sparrow House, or tuning into What's Poppin', the newsletter, or it might be starting your own business. It might be whatever it might be, but you can find out here where we have these conversations with people who are out here practicing generational wealth building in their families and in their business lives and in their communities. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.